Greetings to all my listeners. In this video, I will explain Indian Weavers, a poetry written by Sarojini Niadu. Let me first tell you about the poet. In brief, Sarojini Naidu was a political activist, feminist, and the first Indian woman who became the President of Indian National Congress. She was an important figure in India's struggle for independence. Later, she became the first woman to hold the office of governor in independent India. Her significant work in literature earned her the title of Nightingale of India. Now let us understand the poetry. I'll read the first stanza for all of you. Weavers weaving at the break of day, why do you weave a garment so gay? Blue as the wing of halcyon wild, we weave the robes of a newborn child. If you see, the poetry is divided into three parts. Each stanza represents one stage of life. The first stanza represents childhood or birth. Second stanza represents youth or living life. Third stanza represents old age or death. We can also say that the poetry represents cycle of life. When we read the poem, we find that it is structured in question-answer pattern. The poet is asking three questions to the weavers, and they answer accordingly. I have already read the first stanza for you all. Now I'll explain it. In this stanza, the poet inquires about the weavers weaving while the rays of the sunlight hit the earth. She is inquisitive since they are weaving or working when it is too early to even be awake. Moreover, the garment that is being prepared seems profoundly gay or happy to the poet. Hence, it is obvious that she is curious to know the reason. The weavers answer that they are making a garment of a newborn child, which is of color blue. That blue, which the halcyon bird has been dipped in. Halcyon is also the other name of kingfisher. Thereby, one can easily guess that the occasion of being born on the earth is being celebrated in the first stanza. Now I will read the second stanza. Weavers weaving at fall of night, why do you weave a garment so bright? Like the plumes of a peacock, purple and green, we weave the marriage veils of a queen. The second stanza is most significant since it deals with that part of our life in which we are most active and capable of conquering the world. Here, the poet is again asking the weavers what they are weaving at the fall of night, which means evening. The garment seems to be so bright, to which the weavers announce that they are making the marriage veils of a queen. This veil is feathery and thin. It is like plumes of peacock, purple and green. However, the mention of marriage veils could suggest the transition of youth into adulthood. Let me now read the third stanza. Weavers weaving, solemn and still. What do you weave in the moonlight chill? White as a feather and white as a cloud, we weave a dead man's funeral shroud. In the final stanza, the poet is asking the weavers why they are weaving at the dead of night, when the nature is still and cold. Here, the poet notices change in the attitude of weavers. They are extraordinarily quiet and calm in their reply. When they go on to say that they are making a funeral shroud for a dead body. The shroud is white in color. The solemn and still attitude of the weavers show that they are showing respect to the departed soul. Thus, the last stanza represents the last stage of man's life, that is, old age and eventual death. In this way, life, which begins with joy and hope, ends in sorrow and grief. I will end this video over here. In the next video, we will understand the appreciation of the same poetry. Thank you and have a good day.